Hey, we're live, pal.
We're live. Oh, how
We are.
exciting. What is going on, MMA world, fight fans, UFC fans? This is the voice of Alexander K. Lee. That is a little slight buzzing you might hear. I apologize. There is construction going on in my building. And this is the MMA Fighting UFC 315 official weigh-ins live stream. You may have also just heard the voice of Jose Youngs, who, of course, is on site in Montreal, Quebec, La Belle Provence, the return to the Bell Center for the first time in 10 years for the Octagon. So we are going to be seeing the fighters show up very, very, very soon, guys. Don't mind me. You won't be hearing me too much early on. Hopefully, we get a solid rush of fighters. We get at least like half the card done in the first 15 minutes. No weigh-in misses. That is what we are hoping for, guys. As a community, I believe, and Jose and I were just talking about this, that we are with the more traditional, not traditional, I shouldn't say traditional, the previous weigh-in format. You guys
hmm
know that over the past year, especially in Las Vegas, it's been the standard. I think they've adopted California as well, and some other places. They did the everyone please show up in the first hour, and if you need extra time to cut weight, then you can talk to the commission, work it out with the doctor, get an additional hour. Looks like here we are with the more the old school, what they had probably the last time they went to, not probably they had the last time they went to Montreal. We have the 2 hour flat window. So don't expect everyone to show up in the first hour, guys. Don't be alarmed if someone doesn't show up in the first hour. It is just a 2 hour window. And as it used to be, again, you can negotiate with the commission if you miss weight, negotiate with a physician, and you can get an additional hour. So could be in it here for the long haul. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, guys. I'll be right with you in a second. We will be starting. What time is it now? Oh, we will see John Anik step up and probably start reading off names in about 2 minutes. I will be right back.
Not at all. Do you, man? Anyone else? No. But for you, that was Chris Costello, PR man to the stars, who, if anyone likes to peek behind the curtain, if I ever have any weighing questions, he's the one I go to.
Chris is the man. I'm a big Chris Costello guy. Chris is the man.
Oh,
So
he's
shout out to
great.
Chris Costello. Very
He's the
solid
one
PR
that
man.
whenever I say I'm gonna go find out at weigh-ins, I just beeline to him, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Let me find that out for you," and then he finds out.
I I've sent him many emails, which he has promptly responded to. It's a
Yes,
thankless job. I mean, I'm sure people have seen his
yes.
face. I'm sure maybe some fans know his name, but it is a thankless job, guys.
Fun story.
I don't
Fun
think you're
story.
aware.
My first
Ah,
credentialed media UFC event as a media member was Chris's first event as a UFC PR person.
wow. You guys are like brothers, essentially.
Essentially, except he's much older and whiter and balder.
Brothers. Brothers. I'm just sorry. We're checking out responding to an editorial question here. All right, everyone. I should ask. I apologize, guys, probably just for lack of chatter so far. Of course, who do you think is going to weigh in first? Champions, I think, recently have been pretty good about stepping to the scale. Would not surprise me to see Bilal Muhammad or Valentina Shevchenko. Of course, I think their challengers are also eager to get up there. I'm trying to think of anyone in this card. Do we need to worry about potential weight miss as far as like historically speaking? And I think we're okay, guys. I don't think we've had any crazy weight misses. We've got one guy coming on a very short notice, Kyle Prepelec, but he's a veteran of the game. I would
He
hope he would
was
not
he
come in
was
heavy for
no
his fight
well
with
he
Benoit
was
Saint-Denis.
he was supposed to have a fight today, so he was already cutting weight and in camp.
Oh, okay. He's
He
all
had
good.
a
All right,
he was
Kyle
supposed to, what
Prepelec,
is it?
start
It's called
start the
like
press conference.
Samurai MMA or something.
Yeah, Samurai. Yes.
What's going on here? It's crazy. That was crazy.
You're gonna tell us later what happened there.
I mean, you guys all saw it.
All right, next fighter to the scale, the other champion of round this fight card was the reigning defending undisputed UFC women's flyweight champion, the future Hall of Famer, Valentina Shevchenko.
I'm trying to, there's no room here to let her through. $124.
124, the official weight for Valentina Shevchenko.
There's no room. Sir, back to the main event, Jack Della Maddalena, 170. Jack, come on, brother. Comes Jack Della.
All right, next fighter to the scale, getting his first crack at the undisputed UFC welterweight title, the number 5 ranked contender, Jack Della Maddalena. $170, the official weight for Jack Della Maddalena. And with that, your UFC 315 main event is now official.
Can you hand me my backpack right there? Thank you.
All right, next fighter to the scale, challenging for the undisputed UFC women's flyweight title, the number 2 ranked contender, Manon Fiorot.
Okay, now we're going to the next Kyle next. 125.
125, the official weight for Manon Fiorot. And with that, the co-main event is also now official. All right, next fighter to the scale, lightweight division, Kyle Spremley.
Oh my God.
You got a bout sheet, pal?
Yeah, can we get a bout card for this gentleman?
John.
Kyle Spremley. Thanks, Mr. Youngs. Next fighter to the scale, kicking off the pay-per-view main card, back to the UFC for the first time in a long time. Please welcome Kyle Spremley. Chris,
One step justice to you. Right off the side. Right there's good. 156.
156, the official weight for Kyle Spremley.
Justice will be right.
No.
All right, next fighter to weigh in, competing in a prelim live on ESPN, the light heavyweight division, Testis Bakauskas.
Oh no.
203, the official weight for Bogustus Bogustus.
4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
All right.
All right, next fight is set to weigh in this morning.
We've got some.
9 ranked UFC women's flyweight contender.
I'll fill you in later.
Jasmine Jasdavicius.
$124.
124, the official weight for Jasmine Jazz.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you all for your patience. Next fighter to the scale, competing in his family crew on ESPN Plus, Brad Sona.
136.
136, the official weight for Brad Sona.
1, 2, 1. Thank you, Brad.
My man. Get up there, my man. Jessica Andrade. Joey struggles. It's like AOL startup all over again.
All right, next athlete to the scale is a future UFC Hall of Famer, the former UFC Women's Strawweight Champion, now the number 7 ranked flyweight contender, Jessica Andrade.
We got next, Alexa. Right there. Thank you. 126.
126, the official weight for Jessica Andrade.
3, 2, 1. Oh my God.
Thanks, Jessica. Thank you.
Sorry.
Congrats, ladies and gentlemen. All right, next athlete to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view, the former UFC Women's Flyweight Champion and now the number 1 ranked contender, Alexa Grasso.
126.
126, the official weight for the former champ, Alexa Grasso.
3, 2, 1. Got
All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of the featured thriller live on ESPN in the welterweight division, Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke.
You guys ready for the show? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. 171.
171, the official weight for Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke.
Thank you.
Why?
What a lovely man.
AK just goes, what a lovely man. That's funny.
All right, next fighter to the scale, making his second UFC appearance in the light heavyweight division, Navajo Sterling. official weight for
Five,
Navajo
four,
Sterling.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
All right, next fighter to the scale. The other half of the first fight of the night, live on ESPN Plus in the bantamweight division. Backside Hall.
Mike next. Right there, Mike. 136.
136. The
Up
official
here.
weight for
Up.
backside Hall.
Right here. This camera. 5, 4. There you go. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
All right, next fighter to the scale, the other half of the featured prelim live on ESPN in the welterweight division. Proper Mike Malott.
And what? 171.
171. The official weight for Mike Malott.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view is the number 13 ranked UFC lightweight contender Benoit Saint-Denis.
$156.
156, the official weight for God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis.
Ah! Ivan?
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the light heavyweight division, Ivan Urslan.
$205.
205, the official weight for Ivan Urslan.
2, 1. Thank you.
All right, next fighter to the scale is the UFC light heavyweight veteran Iwan Kutelaba.
Mark Andre next. Mark Andre Burial next. 205.
205, the official weight for Iwan Kutelaba.
2, 1. Thank you.
All right, next athlete to the scale, competing in a prelim live on ESPN Plus in the middleweight division, Powerball, Marc-Andre Barrio.
Jose there? 185.
185, the official weight for Marc-Andre Barrio.
1. Thank you.
Hang on, John.
Good. Little break for
Zach. 1, 2. Sean is talking to Joe. Try to find out.
Okay, I don't know if we have a little bit of a pause here. It's hard to tell because it's been a little awkward this morning. Jose is there. He'll give us a scoop kind of on what is
Oh,
what
God.
exactly has been causing these hitches. He'll be nice about it, considering again apparently it is a very small room. We don't want to hurt
Well,
anybody's feelings,
and considering the
but
man
it does.
is right there.
Yes, so don't worry, Jose. Don't say anything while he's right next to you. I will. Yeah, it looks like we're having some issues.
It's
I
his
don't need to
first day.
sugarcoat it. You guys are watching. You guys are watching the stream. You have eyeballs. You're you're seeing some less than efficient handling of the weigh-ins right now, and that's okay. They haven't been to Montreal in 10 years. I shouldn't be making excuses for them. I'm just explaining to you guys that, if you're wondering, like, what is with these guys? Have they never run away in before? Like, it's been a while. It's been a while, and that's no excuse. This is not good stuff. But let's focus on the fighters. Let us not dwell on some of the clerical errors that may be happening at the scale right now in Montreal. We are officialized with our top two fights. We've got Bilal Muhammad, we've got Jack Della Maddalena, we got Valentina Shevchenko, and we got Manon Fiorot. So the welterweight title and the flyweight title will be contested on Saturday night. Fingers crossed. And you never know what can happen. Saturday morning, moments for the card. But I am being optimistic and telling you are getting two title fights. Again, guys, apologies for any buzzing here on my side. That is not on Jose's side. That is me. I'm in a building that has ongoing construction. We are also, guys, we are going to see Ian Machado Gary weigh in, I believe. He is in town. It's a little bit, I guess, I shouldn't say unfortunate for him, but I'm sure he would have liked to have weighed in, way before one of the main eventers, so have some idea of whether he was needed or not. I imagine he'll weigh in anyway. I would hope he's getting some sort of compensation, of course, for signing in as a backup. So don't be alarmed, you guys, if you see Ian Machado Gary show up later. It doesn't mean anything for the main event. It doesn't mean one of the guys dropped out. It just means he is available if within the next 24 hours or so, fingers crossed, something happens to Bilal Muhammad or Jack Della Maddalena. But let's hope we get our scheduled our scheduled main, and that Ian Machado Gary gets his shot somewhere down the road. Jose could hit the mute there. I guess we've got a little discussion going on, and there's the star of the show, by the way, next to the scale. I do not know the man's name, but he's having quite a day. We also have official already. What else? Benoit Saint-Denis, Kyle Prepolek. That's the main card opener. Benoit looking to bounce back from 2 losses. Kyle Prepolek returning to the UFC for the first time since 2019. He fought in BC. He fought on the Kyle versus Gaethje card, which I was there. And, went back to the regional scene, went 4-1.
All right, AK.
He's coming off
There
3 straight
might be,
victory. Oh, what's going on?
there might be a little drama, but I'm not going to say what
Don't.
because it might not happen.
Wow, what a tease. What a tease, Jose. I don't know if you can tease our audience like that. I was just telling them about Kyle Prepolek, 4-1 on the regional scene. 3 straight first-round finishes. Most recently fought for BTC, which is one of our top promotions up here in Canada. And he's replacing Joel Alvarez. I want to stay on, I think, 1 week's notice. How early did they call Kyle? It's essentially a week. We don't know exactly when he got the call. I think reports came in 5 days ago. So somewhere for a week, less than a week. A lot of people were looking forward to that Joel Alvarez Benoit Saint-Denis fight. Looks like it was going to be a guaranteed finish. Both guys are just buzzsaws when they get in there. Unfortunately, Joel Alvarez, he posted on social media that he did injure his hand. He doesn't expect to be out for long, but obviously could not make UFC 215. So they have called in the veteran Kyle Prepolek, 26-fight veteran, 0-2 in his first UFC run. So hoping to get that first nod inside the octagon. Has a tall hill to climb. I talked about this one a little bit on No Bets Barred this week. There's a lot of me on shows this week, guys. I was on No Bets Barred, Between the Links, listen to all that stuff. If you haven't had a chance so far, I think I'll be on the preview show later. So you'll be sick of me by the time fight night rolls around. But I like Kyle Prepolek too, and I don't encourage gambling. But I like Kyle Prepolek to make it over 1.5 rounds. The man does not get finished. He has not been finished. He's never been KO'd. He was submitted 12 years ago. Was the last time the man was finished. Now, could not do his level of competition. Could be he's fought a berserker like Benoit Saint-Denis. But if you're someone out there who likes to have fun and spice up fights, and you've got a couple of dollars lying around, I would say I am putting a wager on. So I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm putting on a wager on Kyle over 1.5. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I would also say don't keep that on MMA. because it's so random. Also official. A lot of our prelims, guys. A lot of our prelims are on point right now. Mike Malott, 171 for his fight with Charles Radke. Charming Charles Radke, 171. We have Modestas Bukauskas coming in under the light heavyweight limit at 203 for his fight with Yuan Kutalaba, 205. Former strawweight champion Jessica Andrade competing at flyweight this time around. She is 126. Her opponent, Jasmine Jasadavicius, 124. Light heavyweights Navajo Sterling and Ivan Urslan both hit championship weight at 205. And our preliminary opener between Brad Katona, Bexat Almakan, both fighters, 136. Other fighters have made weight, but we're still waiting for their opponents. Alexa Grasso, 126, waiting for Natalia Silva. Marc-Andre Barrillo, 185, waiting for Bruno Blindado Silva. And anyone else, guys, we have not seen yet. So no Jose Aldo, no Ayman Zahabi, and a couple of guys in the prelims also yet to show up. But otherwise, going through here pretty quickly. So let me get this graphic up here, guys. Jose, when he has time,
I'll
will
do my
have this
best.
for you. You'll do your best. It's not a big rush, like I said. I've given the rundown. I should probably leave a note in the YouTube comments, just letting people know, because I'm sure people come in and ask. But yes, all the championship fights are official as of now, and barring anything happening between now and weigh-in day, fight night, excuse me, you'll have a welterweight championship bout, and you'll have a flyweight championship bout. Sorry, guys, I'm just muting myself for now because we have got some some pretty irritating drilling going on above my head. So I will be back to you in a moment.
And there are your weights.
Et voilà, in French Canada. I'm sure you've heard that a bunch of times out there in
Sure have.
Montreal. You guys, again,
Hmm.
take a look at that. Take a look at that beautiful work from Jose Young. I just want to stay muted. I do have some drilling going on. I will be right back with you guys in a moment. I will let you guys know in the comments for anyone just joining in that yes, the championship fights are official. Nothing to worry about there. Darren M in the comments. What's the drama? AKL has mentioned. I didn't mention the drama. Jose's on site. He mentioned some drama. Things not smooth in Montreal. I mean, if you've been watching, you can see things haven't been super smooth on stage right now. But a drama, we don't know yet, guys. We don't know yet. But there's just always rumblings. There's always rumblings going on. And as we get closer to the weigh-ins, getting completed, maybe we'll be able to let you know. But hopefully, it's nothing. If it's nothing, it's nothing. We don't want to stir up rumors. Again, we have several fighters left to weigh in: Jose Aldo, Ayman Zahabi, Natalia Silva, Bruno Silva, Daniel Santos, and Jung Young Lee. Also, Ian Machado Gary, we are expecting to weigh in as a backup. As of now, it doesn't look like he'll be needed, but he's going to weigh in, get his paycheck, and be ready if something unfortunate happens to one of the main event competitors in the next 24 hours.
And if you need to re-watch any of your weigh-ins, you can go to @MMA Fighting across all social platforms, where there are replays.
That's right. That's right. And guys, we'll throw up a replay later on YouTube. But yes, if you need it right now, we've got it up on the Twitters, we've got it up on the Instagrams. I think we got it up on the TikTok, we've got it up on the MySpace, MSN Messenger,
Friend,
ICQ,
friend,
Skype.
Friendster. Skype doesn't
Skype,
exist
too soon,
anymore.
too soon. RIP Skype, I know, RIP Skype. I just saw that this week. RIP Skype, an innovator in the game. But unfortunately, all good things, my friends. All good things. All right, guys, I'm just going to talk through this drilling that's happening in my building. So bear with me. I'll just, it's either you're going to hear this irritating drilling or you're going to hear my irritating voice. Hopefully the two shall blend together and create beautiful music. We'll do a full rain dance here again, just for anyone joining. Welterweight Championship main event, Bilal Muhammad going for his first title defense, slightly delayed title defense against Jack Della Maddalena. Both fighters made championship weight at 170 pounds. Valentina Shevchenko, the first defense of her second reign as flyweight champion. Of course, she regained the title from Alexa Grasso after a grueling trilogy of bouts. 124 for the champ, and the challenger, well-deserving, Manon Fiorot, 125. Francis Manon Fiorot has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. If it wasn't for... Oh, hello. It works. Whoa.
Told you.
One 143, the official weights for Jose Aldo.
So there's your drama, guys. There's the drama we were alluding to. Yes, Jose Aldo coming in at 143. It was announced, if you heard, before he stepped on that this would be a featherweight bout now. So not a miss, not a miss. Though I am wondering what is going on behind closed doors. Who was it that was having the issue? We'll see what Aldo-Zahabi weighs in at. If he comes in significantly under, we might know. But
I think we can guess who was
here we
having
go.
the issues.
Two. 142, the official weight for Aldo-Zahabi.
Okay, guys, so your ears did not deceive you. That was Jose Aldo at 143, Zahabi at 142. And yes, this was originally billed as a bantamweight bout. Just before Jose Aldo stepped on the scale, they did announce it is a featherweight bout. So clearly some issues with the weight make. It looks like an agreement was made beforehand. We do not know if, again, maybe money was exchanged. If one fighter had to pay another, a percentage of their purse, and it's just sort of keeping it under the table, so it's not, avoid the messiness of a miss, the messiness of a potential cancellation. Something happened. An agreement was made. This fight is not in jeopardy. This fight is just going forward as a featherweight bout. Both gentlemen under the featherweight limit. Again, this was supposed to be contested at 135 pounds. So I'm sure we'll get more of the story later. But the good news is, for now, Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi is official. We are only waiting for Natalia Silva on the main card. But yeah, a little confusion there and a little bit of drama. A little bit of drama, guys. A little bit of drama. Not a big deal. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's happy that the change had to be made, but the fight is on. Frankly, I wish people would do this more often. But I understand the gamesmanship. I understand if someone's closer to making weight, why should they give their opponent any slack? But looks like we had an agreement. I think Montreal would be incredibly disappointed if Jose Aldo didn't fight. If anyone watched yesterday's press conference when Aldo and Zahabi went up to pose on stage, it was a very pro Aldo crowd. And Ayman Zahabi is from
Dude, I
Quebec.
don't
He's
know.
not from. I don't think he's from Montreal. Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about
Mhm.
on site. Aldo got booed pretty heavily.
He got booed. Okay, came off at home like he was getting cheered quite loudly.
But it wasn't. It
So,
wasn't
I
like
don't know.
it wasn't anti Aldo. It was just pro Ayman.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Like all the people next to me were the second Aldo walked out there
Yeah.
and started to boo him.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came off on screen like Aldo, pretty popular, pretty well known. But good. I want to hear that Ayman Zahabi's getting some support because, like I said, I think he's not. Ayman Zahabi's not like a huge star in Canada. I would hope he's a huge star
I
in
think
Quebec, at least in Montreal.
I think it's because he does a lot of the broadcast. He's like
Sure.
the Paul Felder or Dom Cruz of
Yes.
like Canada. Like he does
Sure,
the
sure.
UFC broadcast, so I think he's just known.
Yeah, he's very polished on the microphone, so that does not surprise me for Ayman. Jose Aldo, 143. Ayman Zahabi, 142. I don't know if I need to leave another note in the.
I will be right back. AK, just gonna grab a coffee.
Okay, zip off. Thank you, Jose. I'll do a proper rundown again. So I guess I'll send an update. I need to send an updated little graphic here to Jose, but I don't want to leave you guys for long. We're doing pretty well at weigh-ins. I know there's a bit of confusion there. If anyone missed also the first rush, we had a lot of like paper fumbling with our Montreal commission guy, with our Quebec commission guy. So I'm not sure really what that was about necessarily. But everything's worked out. What's important is, listen, people weighed in. Our championship fights are official. All of our main card fights are official, except for Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva. Excuse me. I was going to say Jessica Andrade. They just fought. And most of our prelims are official. We're just waiting on Bruno Blindado Silva and another. This is a featherweight fight. Daniel Santos and Zhang Yang Li. I see some people in the comments a little concerned. Let me read your comments in here, guys. Lazy Bed wants to see the Pitbull matchup. Yeah, I really hope we get that somewhere down the road. And also, it's definitely swapping my prediction. Okay, I guess I should let people know Jose Aldo is the favorite going into this fight. A lot of people did not like this matchup when it was made for understandable reasons. When Jose Aldo announced that he was sort of coming back to be a full-time fighter again, we all had these visions of fights with like a Dominic Cruz, or again, as we would find out later, Pitbull's coming over. What a great fight that would be. Instead, we've had these weird fights where on the one side, he's, being treated like a contender, right? We put him in there with Mario Bautista, who had won something like 6 straight fights. So that kind of made sense. But stylistically, from a reputation standpoint, it was curious matchmaking. It turned into one of the most dreadful fights in recent memory that, frankly, Jose Aldo should have won. But even he admits he hated how he fought there. So, he can't fully blame the judges or Mario Bautista for what happened there. I would like to see if the odds are going to move for this fight. And I do wonder if this makes the fight more or less appealing now with this maybe a bigger possibility of an upset if you think this weight cut was bad for Jose Aldo. Currently, minus 215 on FanDuel. Jose Aldo money line. Ayman Zahabi plus 172. So keep your eye on that line if you are a betting man or woman. Could be interesting. I'm not going to touch that. I just want to watch the fight and enjoy it for what it is. John Killa said, "This has got to be Aldo's last fight if he can't make it to 135." Yeah, I don't know. I think there are fights to be made at 145. Maybe that's how he should end it. Just end his career fighting one less battle. Not having to fight the scale every time. Lazy bet again. Cutting 20 plus at 38 years old must be tough. Yes, I can't imagine. Anyone who remembers Jose Aldo's career at 145, remember he always looked like grim death at the scale. I can't remember how many people takes there were like, oh my gosh, Jose looks so bad at the scale. What's gonna happen on fight night? And by the time he was rehydrated and showed him the cage, he was fine. But clearly a man that does not enjoy cutting weight. And, good for him. He found, for the most part, a system that worked at 135. Up until now, has not had any public issues with making the weight, but looks like a bit of a hiccup. This looks like a bit of a hiccup for the living legend. So, will this be his last fight? I don't know. Will this be his last fight at bantamweight? Maybe. Biva 11. It was obviously Aldo struggling. He didn't look good. Yeah, I know. I'm just listen. I don't know all the facts, guys, so I don't want to assume. But I think based on the eye test, yes, we can. Based on the eye test, based on history, I suppose we can guess it was Jose Aldo that had the issues. Probably contacted his team contacted Aldo-Zahabi's team either this morning or late last night and said, "Yeah, there's no way he's going to make it. Let's agree. Tell your guy to stop cutting whatever weight he's at. Let's both agree to come in under the featherweight limit and have it that be that." If I was Zahabi's team, I would certainly want some sort of compensation. Again, almost like a purse penalty, just run through the commission. I don't know if that would mean getting 10% of Aldo's pay, maybe 10%, just sort of like a gentlemanly, from Aldo's team, a gentlemanly like, thank you for accommodating us. Here's a little incentive, and then we never need to speak of. We don't need to speak more about this weight cut issue, and we don't need to go to the commission. This is just between us. I think that'd be the best way to handle it, but I don't know. It's possible just a handshake agreement. For Smokin says he did look irritated at the press conference. Yeah, probably was not having a good time. Soul Almighty, yo narrator, can you ask John Anik about the UFC 317 main event? Yeah, you know what, Jose?
What's up?
No, someone's asking me to talk to John Anik about the UFC 317 main event. Yeah, bring when you get the chance, bring John Anik over and tell him to get on the mic and just tell us what's going on at 317.
Oh, okay.
No, guys, I think it's pretty obvious. I think it has been I don't even want to say unspoken because Ilia Topuria has hinted at it since he moved up to like featherweight. Dana White's even commented on it. I mean, maybe not mentioning 317 specifically, but as the date has come closer and it's become clear that 317, has not had an announced main event yet, we're all under the assumption that, yes, we need to see what happens with Bilal to figure out what's going to happen with Islam, to figure out what's going to happen with Ilia Topuria. So, yes, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. Ilya does like 2 interviews a week. Bless him. He's great with the media. And this week, there was a. I just want to tell people there was a post going around. Listen, we live in an aggregation business, and it was Ilia Topuria confirms he is going to fight Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira at UFC 317. I don't think he ever actually said that on the Spanish show he was on. I could be wrong. At least the clip that was circulating that I think most people got this news from. The clip is like, and my Spanish is very shaky, guys, but I had to ask other people as well. The clip is like, the person asks him, UFC 317, Oliveira or Makhachev, like, sort of, are you excited for it? Are you ready for it? And then he goes into an unrelated question. All right, I'll just run this. Here we go.
$168. Will be in Machado Gary.
It's lost 2 pounds since we went down here.
Dang, 168 for Ian Machado Gary, well under. I mean, this man is taking this fight week seriously. I mean, he's there with his family. I guess he's not just running around having poutines, which is what I would be doing if I was in Montreal, frankly. He is serious, man. That is well underweight, well under championship weight, and if something happens, he's ready to step in. He's said it. Love the man, hate the man. I don't know how you guys feel about Ian Machado, Gary, but he says a lot of things, and for the most part, he backs it up. So he wanted this spot. He is ready. He is waiting. So, guys, I'm just saying a little update to Jose here.
Un minuto, getting this last clip out.
No worries, no worries. Ignore my last message too. That's already old news. That's already old news. So as I was saying, guys, Ilya Topuria, yes, there was a clip floating around from a Spanish television program where, and the tweet was something like Ilya Topuria is definitely going to fight, and it's like he didn't say that. It's something he has been pushing for a while, and he was asked about it, and he didn't like deny it. He said, but the question that was then like followed up was something like, "Are you? Does being an undefeated fighter, is that like a burden for you, or is that something that motivates you further?" So I don't know if at any point he actually says like, I am fighting on UFC 317, the main event against Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira. But Dana White was asked about the show at the pre-fight press conference on Thursday, and he said pretty accurate. He said that is a pretty accurate statement. So I don't, again, nothing is signed, but it looks like Dana and Ilya Topuria are on the same page. I would imagine behind the scenes of the UFC, like we all said, Bilal Muhammad, a good friend of Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion. Islam Makhachev has said many times he would like to go up to 170 and chase a second belt. However, he has no interest in fighting Bilal Muhammad. They are friends. They train together. I would imagine you'd have to offer both men a lot of money for it to happen, and I still think they might not do it. These are the kind of guys that are very serious about never fighting each other. But should Bilal lose, very
There you
doubtful
go,
he would
AK.
receive an immediate rematch. Thank you, Jose. There you go, guys. There's your update. Ian Machado, Gary just weighed in as a backup. Very likely that Bilal does not receive an immediate rematch, and JDM's first title defense would be against Islam Makhachev. Makhachev would then either vacate the lightweight title or Ilya Topuria would fight Charles Oliveira for a interim title. I would hope that Islam would just vacate, but if Islam is serious about defending in both divisions, then they'd have to work something out. There'd be an interim belt, which would kind of suck for Ilya, who vacated the featherweight title with the expectation he would get an undisputed title shot. That is what he is saying anyway. He says he's been promised a title shot. I don't know if they told him interim or otherwise. So yes, that would happen. And then we've already sort of resolved sort of what's going on at featherweight for now because Ilya was out of there, and we have Volk back on top after that great win over Diego Lopez. But yes, a lot of ripples from Ilya's decision to move up to lightweight, and from Bilal Muhammad and Islam Makhachev making clear they won't fight each other. So should Bilal win, as he is favored to do, you will get the big Islam Makhachev versus Ilya Topuria fight headlining UFC 317. So while we don't have the 317 headliner official, we are all guessing it will be Ilya Topuria involved in some way, either fighting for an undisputed title or an interim title. There we go. Now, do they want to headline? I'm about to sneeze. 1 second. Apologies, everyone. Now, do they want to headline one of their big summer cards, UFC 317, with an interim title fight? Seems sketchy to me. Seems like they would like to come to agreement with Islam to vacate the belts. It just looks better. Ilya Topuria versus Charles Oliveira in the main event of UFC 317 with the undisputed lightweight title on the line. But I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there. I am also still holding out hope for John Jones and Tommy Aspinall, but I also still believe in Santa Claus. So you guys make of that what you will. Very, very unlikely that that fight comes together with UFC 317 just 2 months away, unless all the 2 months away. Yeah, well, less than 2 months away now, end of June. Unless they've been doing some incredible troll job behind the scenes and the paperwork signed, and they've just been planning to announce this and drop this fight on us. I don't know when or if you will see John Jones, Tom Aspinall. I still believe it will happen. But I also still believe in the Easter Bunny. So that is my take on it, guys. But yes, don't expect any word about the 317 main event until Saturday night. Fingers crossed. Should something happen with JDM winning, that Islam just steps right into the cage and helps his friend up, pats his buddy Bilal Muhammad on the back, and says, "All right, I'm coming for the welterweight belt. Sorry, Bilal." But that's a lot of pieces that need to fall. I don't know if Ilya will be in the building. I assume not. Jose, you would know. I think Jose would know if he'll be
What?
there or planning to be there. Ilya is not. I assume Ilya is not. Wouldn't be there in Montreal. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, right?
Say it again. Sorry, I got distracted.
Nothing. I was saying. I'm just sort of talking to myself actually. Just thinking like, is Ilya Topuria is not going to be in Montreal? I
I
would
can't
guess.
imagine.
I can't.
Because
That'd be a little bit distracting. I'd love to see
if
Ilya
he's
right
in
now. If he's
camp
never been,
for
I think
if
he'd
he's
love it.
in camp for June, I would
Ah.
imagine he's in camp.
This is true. This is true. All right, hold on. We've got an update from my best friend Mike Heck. He's spoken to a person with knowledge of the situation, and sure enough, of course, it was the Ayman Jose Aldo weight change was due to some issue on the Aldo side, and there was a renegotiate of the contract for the bout again, as I think we all sort of suspected, some sort of money going to the Zahabi side, but unconfirmed, guys. It's just one source. Thank you, my best friend Mike Heck. He is on the beat, guys. He's on the beat. And again, none of this I think is shocking. I don't think I'm blowing anybody's minds to tell you that this was probably the arrangement that was made. So yes, that's where we are with Jose Aldo and Zahabi. My main concern is that Jose Aldo, if there's an issue on his side, that it's not serious, and that we don't get a Saturday morning UFC news tweet about how there's been an update to UFC 17, and we read it and say Jose Aldo cannot make the card. Guys, we all love seeing Jose Aldo fight. We all hope health-wise that he's doing okay, that this weight cut or whatever issues related to the weight cut isn't affecting him in a terrible way. So yes, fingers crossed, guys. This fight is official, like I said, but a lot of weirdness can happen. I also want to remind people just hopping in. We said this at the beginning of the show. Montreal is not using the newer weight cut protocol of a 1 hour where they try to get everybody in, and then the second hour, preferably just for anyone who needs extra time or for whatever reason couldn't, make the first hour. This is more the old school. Think Montreal 10 years ago. This is more the old school flat 2 hours. As long as you make it within the 2 hour weigh-in window, you are good. And if you need additional time after that, you can work that out with the commission, and you work it out with a doctor. So if you're wondering where is Natalia Silva, where is Blindado, where is Daniel Santos, Jung Young Lee, they're taking their sweet time, guys. They have no obligation to show up for another at least 70 minutes. They've got at least 70 minutes to show up. So don't be alarmed. I am hoping that everything's good, and some of these fighters are taking their time. Again, we do have a couple more featherweights to go. It's a big cut. Natalia Silva, 125, cannot be an easy weight cut. Let's talk a little bit about this main event, y'all. I mean, we kind of just did the implications, but it feels like the implications of it, the storyline coming out of it, are overshadowing what I think is a compelling matchup. Now, I will say, to be pessimistic about it, I do think this is kind of going to be an uninteresting fight in practice. Bilal Muhammad, a great wrestler. Jack Della Maddalena, a good athlete, but not someone with strong takedown defense. I think anyone who has studied JDM tape has seen, from top shelf opponents to guys that we haven't heard of, he's got a bit of trouble staying off his back. Bilal is saying he wants to show off the Canelo hands, and while he has made, he's not a very good striker. I'm not even gonna say he's not a bad striker. He's a very good striker. He does not have the knockout power of Jack Della Maddalena. Now, if he proves us wrong and goes like Kamaru on, Jorge, and just right crosses him into the next dimension, amazing. I'd say, Bilal, please stay at 170. Don't go up to 185. Give us more title defenses. I want to see you fight Ian Machado Gary. I want to see you, I guess, rematch Sean Brady somewhere down the road. I want to see you fight Michael Morales, if Michael Morales can beat Gilbert. Like, I feel like there's so many fun challenges for Bilal, and if he puts on a really showy performance at on Saturday, there'll be like at least a bit of demand for it. But you guys are smart. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. Bilal Muhammad's a wrestler. If there's any sort of heat from the JDM side, Bilal is going to drop. He's going to clinch. He's going to drop down. He's going to change levels. He's going to take a single leg. He's going to do a double leg. He's going to go for body locks. He's gonna pressure Jack against the fence. He is going to smother him into oblivion, and he's got that endless cardio where he could out wrestle Jack for 25 minutes. He could out wrestle Jack for 75 minutes, probably, if you wanted to. That is what I presumably think we will see. Captain Deadpool saying JDM's going to win. Haywood saying, hey, if JDM can land a good body shot. Darren M saying Jose, excuse me, also had a rough cut UFC 129 in Canada. He just stopped fighting in Canada. I'm trying to remember if this is the first time Jose, quote unquote, missed weight. Yes, this is actually, if you're counting this as a miss, which it isn't, technically, guys, I want to say this is not a weight miss for Jose Aldo, not at the scale anyway. Jose Aldo has never missed weight in his 3-1 fight career, I believe. I'm assuming before. I don't think before WC or UFC he ever missed weight. I will go real quick and check his. Yeah, not as far as I know. There's no documented weight miss for Jose Aldo, and as of now, there still isn't. This was a last minute change to featherweight, guys, not a miss at bantamweight. I do not want to hear otherwise. Sorry, I was looking through more of your comments. All right, Captain Deadpool, pretty confident. Listen, dude, I think he's got a puncher's chance. But just based on what the tape, we know that JDM has a hard time stopping takedowns. But could he catch Bilal? Sure. If Bilal decides to F round on the feet and find out, I could totally see JDM winning a striking decision. It just would be totally uncharacteristic of everything we know about Bilal for him to only stick for him to not mix the martial arts. Right? He is a very new school mixed martial artist. Is what he does. He might not be an A+ wrestler. He might not be an A+ striker, A+ kickboxer, A+ whatever. But he's like a good B+ to an A in multiple categories. And then I would say A+ cardio, which is actually a very good attribute to have in today's MMA game. I mean, I know it's not the most exciting thing people like to hear. Like we watch MMA to see people. Traditionally, anyway, we got into MMA to watch people beat the crap out of each other, not to have like a CrossFit contest. But that's how it is these days. Sometimes it is about who's more prepared physically. And I mean, Bilal, that's one thing you can never question whether you like his style or not. That is one thing you can certainly never question. All right, guys, just had to mute myself for a second there. Some background noise going on. We'll go to the co-main now. We don't get to talk about these things enough. Now, I am on the preview show later, so like I said, I don't want to harp on about this stuff too much, but we do have the co-main. Valentina Shevchenko, the underdog, versus Manon Fiorot. Let's go to, again, let's talk a little bit of gambling here, guys. We talked about it quite a bit, but I'm just so shocked. I don't know what people are seeing in this matchup that, like, Manon will be bigger. Yes. Has less fight mileage on her. Yes. Maybe people were a little uninspired by how Valentina beat Alexa Grasso. I mean, she did just go to her wrestling, and Grasso, it looked like a very bad night for Grasso. So maybe Valentina doesn't get full credit for regaining her title, but I think she still looks pretty damn good at this stage of her career, whether she's lost a step or not. I'm seeing Valentina as high as plus 120 on some betting sites. So I like Valentina by decision, guys. If you're picking Valentina to win, I think decision's pretty obvious, and I think you can find that at most places around plus 200 to plus 220. So don't bet on MMA, but if you must, use FanDuel.
I feel
bet
like
smart,
it's
bet smart,
because
things like
I
that.
feel
Like
like it's
Valentina.
because I would hazard a guess that Manon was probably an underdog against Rose.
Yes,
She was probably an underdog against Aaron. I feel like Manon's been like they've tried to use her as a way to springboard other contenders. Does that make sense? And she's just made the fights ugly and succeeded very well against like a good striker and grappler in Rose and a very high level grappler in Aaron, and those fights weren't super ideal, but it just kind of reminds me of like Jan Blachowicz' run to the title. Like they tried to give him Dom to win the vacant title. They tried to give him Jacare to propel him. They tried to give him Luke Rockhold to propel him, and Jan Blachowicz just kept knocking them down, and then all of a sudden he was the champion. So and Manon is so much looks so much physically bigger than Valentina.
Yeah, and I think size is one of the biggest factors for sure. but I just like I don't know. And Manon can grapple too, but I actually still think Valentina's a superior grappler. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe these odds will bear out, and on fight night it'll be like, oh, Manon should have been a minus 300 favorite. Forget minus,
Yeah.
whatever she is, minus 120 something. I don't know. It's possible. And I'm a fan of Manon. I like her. I'm also a huge Bullet guy. I just feel like she's, maybe the greatest women's fighter ever. Of course, Amanda Nunes right up there with her. But I think you can make a strong case for Val, especially given how, depending how you view their second fight, which I'll probably never watch again because I've watched it twice in my life, and it was horrible watching it the first time, and it was probably even worse the second time I watched it. It's a really, really bad fight. I don't know. People talk about that second fight a lot, like it was a robbery. Shevchenko should have won. She has like the real win over Amanda, but like nothing happens in that fight.
Nope.
If you are picking Shev because like again she's the smaller fighter, she's the smaller fighter. Like the fact that Amanda couldn't like definitively beat her, that's a win for Val. I guess okay, but if you just view a fight as a fight, it's such a nothing fight. I have no problem if you think Val won. I have no problem if you think Amanda Nunes won. Neither fighter did anything in that fight, and there's a reason why Dana White and the matchmakers have had like whenever the topic came up of like, hey, are you going to run back Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko 3? They're just kind of like, I
That
don't
was
know,
at
guys.
Edmonton, right?
I don't know. It was in Canada. Yes, it was not. It was not good. It was not a good fight. The two best women's fighters ever, guys, and sometimes these things happen. It's
Sometimes
oil
it
and water.
happens.
Yeah, the first fight's a little more compelling. You have a nice charge from Valentina in round 3, and that's like why people are kind of like. That's another reason I think people kind of conflate the two fights together, much like the first two Holloway and Volkanovski fights, where it's like Volkanovski clearly won the first fight, but because the second fight was close, people go like, oh, both fights were close. Well, no, just the second fight.
The second fight
And then
wasn't
with
very good either. Oh, we got movement.
who? Not you mean Amanda and Shevchenko?
No, Max and Bulk.
No, the second fight was real good. Not the third fight where like
Maybe
not
that's
the
what
third
I'm
fight.
thinking. It all kind of
No,
blends
yeah, the
together.
third fight where Volk just like whooped him, man.
Yeah, maybe that's what.
Yeah, it all blends together. I think that's a problem for like a lot of fans. All right, who we got?
Live on pay-per-view, the number 5 ranked UFC women's flyweight contender, Natalia Silva.
Six.
126, the official weight for Natalia Silva.
Here we go, baby. 5. Wait. Natalia. Can you do it again, baby? Oh my God. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Natty Ice, 126. She looked a little almost surprised at herself that she made it, probably not the most fun weight cut, but also all smiles at the end as she often is, and she's got a huge opportunity ahead of her. She has been given the recent former champion Alexa Grasso. Natalia Silva pretty comfortably favored, if I'm not mistaken. I believe she's at least 2-1. Almost. You know what? I'm almost 3-1, minus 265.
I tell you what, she has some real vocal fans on the internet.
My best friend Mike Heck being one of them. I'll tell you that right now.
No, Mike's not like these people.
Oh yeah. What are you, Jose? What are you alluding to? Because I am just talking about the,
I think I asked a question that most people would have asked at media day,
okay.
and it was a little emotional, as one would imagine. And oh my God, did I get my inbox is a cesspool of anger, and most of them have Natalia Silva as their profile picture, which makes it even stranger.
Okay, that is. Listen, you got to be careful with some of these stan hives, Jose. It's serious, man. It's some of these. It's not to some of these folks. The question is not just a question. All right, you got to be careful. I'm not blaming you. I'm just.
I'm not going to say what they told me to do, because then we'd get demonetized. But man, I was like to the point where I had to go back and rewatch the media day. So I'm like, did I say something wrong? And then I watched. I'm like,
Can
no, I'm
you
fine.
can you tell people? Can you tell people what do you want? Can you explain to people what you're talking about? Who didn't see the media day?
So the last time Tally Silva fought, she was dealing with the very recent death of her sister, right? And that was kind of
Okay.
the big driving point of a lot of the interviews, which I don't think a lot of people knew. She brought it up in our interview with Mike Heck, if you remember. That was Mike. Mike did the big interview with her, and I asked her, the last time you fought, this was a very fresh moment, and you were dealing with it in the middle of fight camp. Now it's been like maybe a year later since it's happened. Like, how has life been and how has camp been this time around? And obviously, like, it hit her a little bit, and she made a good point. Like, some days it's good, some days it's bad. Sometimes you, like, training, like, you forget about it, and then all of a sudden it creeps back in, and she got a little emotional. But I thought it was a very good answer. And I thought anyone that had the first group of questions probably would have brought that up because that was the topic of conversation last time. Every interview she did, that's what it was about. And I got, how dare you bring that up? You're a scum. You are a boring. I'm just like, damn, man. Y'all need to chill out.
You made the mistake, Jose, of doing your research, listening to
Correct.
interviews, knowing about your subject, asking an actual question. So shame on you.
Yes.
Shame on you, Jose. You're supposed to just ask, are you going to kick this person's ass on Saturday night?
Correct. So I've learned.
What? Yeah. What's your favorite poutine? Like, come on, guys.
Correct.
These are the burning questions that people want to know. That the
Right.
natty ice, the natty hive. Thank you, Max Rapkin. The natty
Natty
hive.
highs. That's
Uh,
funny.
the natty hive wants to know. Yeah, guys. Hey, anyone out there who thinks they can do media's job? I was gonna say, listen. One, it's not easy. You can sort of make it easy for yourself if you want to ask dumbass questions. Sure, you can make it easy if you want to. But I'm obviously I stand with my man Jose. You got to dig a bit deeper sometimes, guys. And yeah, sometimes it means bring up things that'll make people emotional. I made Cyborg cry, and probably didn't
Yeah.
help her relationship with the UFC. We were in Edmonton, and I was asking her about like just sort of I think comments she had previously made about her things that happened with her in the UFC, and she got into sort of like, yeah, you wouldn't believe what some of the comments that have been made to me, um, and that affect me and affect my daughter. And I was like, oh my god, like didn't mean to open this door. Thankfully, I didn't get the cyborg hive coming after me. But yeah, guys, it's okay. It's okay to see fighters get emotional. I made Chris Curtis cry. I made um, I made Jimmy Flick. I made Jimmy Flick cry. I made people cry sometimes. It might just be my face. It might just be my face. My appearance may just be upsetting to people, but I like to
Yeah,
think I'm
you have a
also
very unnerving appearance. Kind of like
yeah,
what's the phrase? Uncanny valley type thing.
a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm told. I look like an AI creation come to life. Uh, but yes, I don't know, guys. This happens. Sometimes we get listen. You give Jose some of those clips you see viral that where fighters are laughing and joking around and talking about topics they wouldn't normally talk about and having a laugh. That's Jose, guys. That's Jose bringing that to you. So if you want to give him crap about getting
Speaking of
real with
which,
people sometimes,
speaking
yeah,
of which, you can go watch my 3 Anything But Fighting episodes coming out
yes.
this week. One of them is already out with Mike Malott. I believe the Bracketona one will be going out soon, and then Jasmine Jazz Videos rounds out the three.
What did you and Brad Katona talk about?
Star Wars, massive Lord of the Rings fan.
Of
Chess,
course.
naturally. He had a real scientific breakdown of which bread he prefers, depending on the season and the weather, and if he's having it as the main meal or the side dish.
And this really was anything but
It was
MMA.
like 35-minute interview, and I was like, I try to keep him like 15 max, but he was going, man. His girlfriend was behind the camera, like kind of chiming in too on like what he likes to do. I thought it was a really fun interview. Mike
Brad's great.
Malott,
Yeah, I've
hardcore.
been.
Mike Malott,
Oh boy, yeah,
hardcore Harry Potter fan,
people love it.
like
People
die
love it.
hard.
He's of that age. He's of that generation. I think he's
He's
what
my
in his mid
age.
30s. He's your
Yeah, we
age.
were
Yeah.
both geeking out because I text. So me and Mike have a mutual friend, and Andre Feely, and I talk about this on the show. You can go watch on YouTube or on socials. So I text Andre, and I was like, I'm gonna interview Mike. Is there anything I can ask him that like people might not know, or he might catch him off guard? And he just goes, Harry Potter, period. And I go, well, all right. And then I go, it's the second question. I go, Mike, you a Harry Potter fan? And then you just see him like his whole body literally shifts towards me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm such a big," and like he went in on how excited he was.
Yeah, shout out to the Potterheads out there. If you're a Potterhead in the comments, let yourself be heard. Give us your
He
spicy Harry
gave
Potter
like
takes.
he gave like full breakdowns on like which house he would be in,
Oh,
which
it's
one's the
serious.
best. I'm like,
It's serious.
whoa.
Regardless of how some of us may feel about J.K.
Yes,
Rowling, of course, the series is incredibly popular, incredibly loved by a
it's well
generation of
written.
people. The
It is
characters,
well
yeah,
written,
the books, the movies, the play, hugely
which
successful.
he
And,
has
and
seen.
I doesn't surprise me. I'll say this: I never really got into Harry Potter that much. I think I enjoyed some of the movies. I thought the books were okay, but I'll say this also: I didn't read them all. I didn't read them all. So maybe in there I missed out. Maybe I missed out on the
Oh, I
totality
blitzed through
of the
them.
Harry Potter experience. Yeah,
I read the last
but when
one in. I bought it at midnight in Rhode Island, and at 4 a.m. was done with it.
I mean, they're brisk reads. They're brisk read.
Yeah,
Like I think
they
they're easy
are, but
reads. I
they
just don't
but
particularly.
they're just very long.
Yeah,
Yeah, by like the last four are very long.
I like the actors. The actors in the movies did a good
Yes,
job. They're not bad movies. The movies are fine. And I wait to. We're getting to a point where they're going to just start redoing these, right? Are they
they're
already? Are
making
they
it.
going to do a
No,
show?
they're doing a show,
Yeah, but
which
they're going to
Mike and
remake
I
the movies eventually.
discussed.
Harry
Well,
Potter and
me
the
and Mike,
Sorcerer's
me and
Stone.
Mike discussed that
Yeah,
it would be better for a show because they had to cut a lot of the stuff from the
of
book.
course. Of course, we listen. We now live in the streaming age where you can have as many episodes of a show as you want, and the budgets are essentially limitless. And someone's always going to bid for it. I don't know who is it? Is it a Disney thing? No, Amazon Prime.
Amazon,
Who's
I
got
think.
this?
It's Amazon
Amazon
or
Prime.
HBO. It's one of them. It might
So
be
yeah, it's
HBO
time.
actually.
But somewhere down the road, they're going to straight up movie-fy it again. Maybe when I'm an old man, because we are now 24 years removed from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, directed by, of course, Chris Columbus, the great
It was
director of
Sorcerer's Stone, is the movie.
Home Alone. The what? Oh, the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh, oh, I forgot. You live in America.
Well, the movie
No.
was actually called Sorcerer's Stone. The original book was Philosopher's Stone.
So this is Philosopher's Stone in Canada and in the
Oh,
UK. So yeah,
well,
yeah.
you guys have the same monarchy, so
What is the why did they change the name?
because we don't know what
Is it a
philosophers
copyright
are in
thing? Is there like
America.
a oh,
I was
that's
being
not
honest.
true. That's
If you say so.
that's right. I forgot for you guys that it is the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in the U.S. I forgot because we have it up here. Like they'll show it on cable sometimes, and we do have it as Philosopher's Stone. And like I didn't even think about the name change. That's right. Um, what else we got here? Evencraft. Any houses besides Slytherin and Gryffindor sound lame. Well, sound lame. Now, Evencraft, have you read? Is this based on the books, or have you confused? I'm confused. Max Rapkin. I didn't read the books. Saw the first 2 to 3 films. They were good. I might have been a tad old. Yeah, I mean, the first movie is a children's film. Like I think if you're like 40 years old now and you want to watch the first movie, yeah, it's a children's film, and they get a little, they get more. I don't say necessarily more mature, but certainly more complex, more
No, they
developed as they go
do
along.
because they were written. I've learned this. The books were written to be the reading, the whatever age Harry is the reading level of the book, so you can mature with
Oh,
the
see,
character. So the first book is for
look at that.
11-year-olds, and the seventh book is for 17-year-olds.
This is how you make money, guys. This is why this is now one of the biggest franchises in the history of human civilization. So yeah, this is a strategy, guys. There's a strategy to all this stuff. So if you're planning to get into the young reader business, I don't know. If you're out there, think about that. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm just looking. Someone asked a question. Joseph Boza asking, was it Joseph Boza? What do we think of Jasmine being the only other women's flyweight to be under 124, just in case something happens?
Well, if you remember, I asked this very question to all the flyweight women
Mhm,
at Media Day, and they
mhm.
said the two women in the co-main event are very professional, and they did not expect any of them to have any issues making weight or miss weight in general. So none of the flyweights were what they weren't thinking about it at all.
There you go, guys. There's your answer. Obviously, Jasmine would be the one to get the call should something happen, but that's it. We really don't have any in-depth thoughts about it.
Jasmine Jasnovic is hardcore Philly Sunny fan though.
Excuse me, what?
big heart. It's Always Sunny fan.
Oh, It's
Jasmine.
Always Sunny. Okay, I didn't hear. Yes, yes. Yeah, that seems like her style of humor. I think of what we know. I think if anyone has seen Jasmine's interviews, or you've spoken to Jasmine, of course, seen her social media activity, she definitely has that kind of humor. So, uh, one second, got a little note from me here. So yes, guys, check. Anyway, that was all a bit of a preamble. Check out Jose's interviews with Mike Malott, Brad Katona, and Jasmine Yasidavicius. Not if you're looking for MMA talk, but if you're looking for anything but MMA, guys, those are the clips that you want to check out on the YouTube. We should put that on the podcast. It's not on the podcast network, right?
No, no, unfortunately not.
We should like do something. Yeah, I know it's. I mean, there's only so much time in the day. But
Yeah,
yeah, and I know previous episodes of anything
yeah,
but
but
MMA
those were
are
like
on.
hour long episodes.
Right. Those are proper sit down interviews, not
Yes,
again sort of like media
not
day. I get
not
media day
fight
running
week
around.
media day stuff. Yeah.
Guys, this is bonus content. All right, this is bonus brought to you by the great Jose Youngs. Jonah Friedman asking, is Santos Lee gonna happen? Yeah, I think it will, guys. Again, they have another 49 minutes, 48 minutes, whatever you want to call it. This is the older 2 hour win window, so they did not need to come in the first window. So they are free and clear as long as they show up before 11 a.m. Eastern time. Yes, they'll be fine. It's a bit. It shouldn't be much of an issue. Daniel Santos is coming up from bantamweight. He's not a big featherweight. He's coming up from bantamweight for this fight. He hasn't fought at a 145 since like his regional days, so well before he joined the UFC. So it would really surprise me if Daniel Santos was having issues making weight. Zhang Yang Li is a pretty big 145er, but again, we have a lot of time, and I'm just guessing that they know there's a 2 hour window. So what's the rush? Take their time. I'm sure they have it. They have these things down to a science. I'm pretty optimistic the fight's going to happen. And that's we have one other fight we're waiting for. Bruno Blindado Silva. We'll get back to main card talk in a second. I want to talk about Bruno because the great Guilherme Cruz did interview him. You will see a story, his interview with Bruno before fight night, so either Friday or Saturday. That story will go up. Please read it. Bruno has spoken previously about mental health struggles that have sort of gotten in his way. He was pretty much going to get cut from the UFC. He's lost 4 straight fights. No surprise there. But previous opponent, Alex Pereira, Poetan, kind of vouched for him and helped him to kind of get motivation. And Bruno spoke to the matchmakers, said, just give me one more shot. I assume he's contracted for one more fight. So he's like, let me fight the last fight of my contract. And here we go. Could be an inspirational story. I hope he's not having issues making weight. I hope that, again, there's not more struggles for this man. But that is one fight I have my eye on. Could be an absolute banger, like just 2 guys fighting for their jobs. Marc Andre also on a losing streak. 2 guys fighting for their jobs. Could be a first round knockout. Could be 2 guys fighting super safe and just 15 minutes of the worst cardio kickboxing you've ever seen. Either way, I'm excited, and I'm really hoping that we see Blindado soon. Darren M01 says, Jose always asks the pointed questions of the fighters and questions to get to know fighters outside the cage. Thank you. That is what they do, guys. He's not afraid to tackle either topic. He can talk about Harry Potter with a fighter, or he can ask about, again, recent personal important struggles that they've had in their lives. That's what we want to see, guys. These fighters are complex people. We want to see the whole picture. That's what I say anyway.
Tell you what though,
If you just want
there
to see
was also
Chuck Buffalo, oh, go ahead.
I asked Ian a question, and I thought it was a kind of an interesting question, and he completely misunderstood me, and he said it was a silly question. And I was like, it's not a silly question. I asked him,
Wait, who said that?
Ian, because Ian Machado Gary did a
Oh,
media
yes.
day, and he was
Yes,
talking about how like
yes.
he wants the title. I'm like, so I go, I know you want the title, and that's the ultimate goal. So if you get this shot against the winner on Saturday, I said, I think Bilal unfairly gets little criticism for being boring, and Jack is not the most entertaining person on the microphone. Bilal will probably have more back and forth with you. So I said, if you get the winner on Saturday, what would be more interest? What would get you more excited? The build up for Bilal or the actual fight with Jack? And he goes, that's a silly question. I just want the belt. I'm like, I said that. Listen to the question.
Nice try, Jose. Nice try. Ian Machado Gary's not going to give you a clickbait headline for you to work with. He creates his own clickbait.
Apparently.
We have Guilherme is giving us more information on the Zahabi Aldo story. I have permission to read this on the air. He says, so this is from the great Guy Cruz. Apparently, so his sources told him, apparently Zahabi was informed at around 8 o'clock on Thursday night that the UFC doctor told Aldo to stop cutting weight when he was 9 pounds over. So around 8 o'clock, Aldo was still almost 10 pounds over. And I guess a physician came in for a checkup and said, nope, that's it for you. And Zahabi was apparently almost on weight already. I don't know what that means. Maybe like 138, 139, something. But Aldo was not close. Aldo was, again, 9 pounds over. So in featherweight range, essentially. And I don't know what his weight cut procedure is. Maybe that's normal for Jose Aldo. But the doctor said nope. And that's why this was changed. But again, as we mentioned earlier from another source, this was changed last night. Contract renegotiated. Some money sent to the Zahabi side as a make good, and the fight is on as a featherweight bout. Jose Aldo 143, Ayman Zahabi 142. Let's talk about this fight a little bit. Again, I don't want to harp on how much people dislike this fight, but when they step in there, I think it's intriguing. I don't think Ayman Zahabi is going to do the Mario Bautista strategy. He's much more well known for his striking. Certainly, if he feels like he has a strength advantage in there and he can implement a similar strategy, I don't see why he wouldn't. Again, it worked for Mario Bautista, even though it shouldn't have. But I think we are going to see some striking here. And I believe that is why Jose Aldo is favored. The weight change means nothing to me. As long as Jose Aldo gets in there and is properly rehydrated, I still to this day pick him over against anyone. I picked him to beat Mario. The fight was terrible. I still think he won. I picked him to beat I think I picked him to beat Merab. And again, terrible fight. And some would argue that Jose Aldo won that fight as well, even though he spent much of the fight being held. What little strikes were thrown were from the Jose side. So I essentially treat Jose like Chael Sonnen. He's undefeated in my mind, and I am picking him to win. Who do you guys got? Let me know in the comments. Let me see your Jose and Ayman Zahabi comments. Bivov reminding us better to be safe than sorry when it comes to cutting weight. I still remember when that kid in one died during his weight cut. Yeah, that's right. That was rough. That was years ago. That's what led to the new not new now, but what led to a new weight cutting procedure for one championship involving the rehydration testing, which some people said fixed weight cutting. I don't think so. I think there's still people finding ways to skirt around it. It also led to a lot of weird weight misses where people made weight but failed the rehydration, and I guess that was the purpose of it, but did not fix weight cutting. Very, very shifty in its own way. Also, a lot of those one championship weigh-ins happened behind closed doors with no other outside supervision. So make of that what you will. Max Rabkin, Jose Merab should have been a draw. Yeah, I could live with that. Again, they just don't they don't do 10-10 rounds in MMA. Unfortunately, it's just not a thing, which there should be. Yeah, it could have been a draw. Fine. Lazy bad conspiracy theory. Aldo intentionally came in heavy in an attempt to thwart wall install. Hey, Jose Aldo, you do what you want. You're a legend. If that's the case, I think that's great. But Aldo, Lazy, you're switching your pick from Aldo to Ayman. Interesting. DJ Stray now. What if Aldo turns the tables and he's the wall installer now? That would be that'd be great. Aldo just again body lock, push this man to the fence, clinch up, throw in little piddly knees and elbows just to stay busy and keep the referee from not separating you. And there you go. Ride to a 29-28 split decision. That should be great. J Ray B02. Unfortunately, Aldo will tire out within 2 rounds and lose via decision. I don't think that's really been an issue for him at 135. I don't even think that was that much of an issue for him at 145. There are some memorable stumbles for sure. Of course, the Mark Hominick fight where he just hung on in the 5th. Not didn't hung on, but he comfortably won the first 4 rounds and then took a lot of unnecessary damage in the 5th round. So I guess we're thinking about that. Piotr Jan, this is true. You know what? The Piotr Jan fight, he looked good early on. Piotr Jan just outlasted him. But Piotr Jan does that to a lot of people. I don't know if that's a Jose issue. It's possible. It's possible. Keep in mind, again, Ayman Zahabi is not like a spring chicken. Ayman Zahabi is 37 years young. He'll turn 38 in November. So he's a little bit younger than Jose. It's not like he's a young gunner cardio machine. John K. Aldo's longevity weirdly goes against the norm, moving down weight and losing by decisions compared to older fighters normally moving up and getting KO'd over and over again. Yeah, he's he's one of a kind. He's done things different. Even Craft. Aldo has those Brazilian genes. They seem to age 2 to 3 years slower than other fighters. I mean, I hope so. The man's been hanging around, and I hope we still get to see some sort of legends fight. It won't be Dominic Cruz. We know Dominic Cruz is retired now. Pitbull will be great. I'd get UFC win or lose on Saturday with Jose Aldo. Can we just put him in 1:45 fight with Pitbull? Who's going to complain? I don't care. I don't care about Jose Aldo possibly earning another title shot. I know you can't tell him
I'm
that.
back.
Like,
Sorry, I was having a chat.
no worries, Jose. I'm just talking about Jose. So, Andrew asking why is Aldo 145 now? Oh, Andrew, gosh, I need to make this the pinned comment. He had issues making weight. By 8 p.m. last night, apparently was not close to making. A doctor told him, that's enough cutting for you, young man. And Aldo and Zahabi's team last night then made an agreement to just move the fight up to featherweight. And we are assuming, not assuming, sorry, we have been told by sources that Aldo's team has given Zahabi some amount of their purse. We don't know how much. Again, this was kind of just an agreement between the two teams. Commission, I don't think, had to get involved, other than, of course, stopping Aldo from making the weight. But as far as like making everything signed and making sure Zahabi got a little extra sugar for agreeing to these terms. But yes, they weighed in at featherweight instead of bantamweight. Jose 143, Ayman Zahabi 142. But the fight is on. It is not a weight miss technically. Nobody missed weight. PSA pin it. You know what, guys? Can you have? I'll pin it. I'll pin it if I see it again. How about that? I'll pin it if I see too many people asking again. Mikey T, are you guys watching NBA playoffs or MLB this season? Well, Mikey, I'm a huge NBA fan, so I'm watching the NBA playoffs a lot. He didn't want to talk about it. I also don't want to talk about the Blue Jays. Sadly, I have been watching the Blue Jays, and they're just... I know Jose's going to complain about his team, but I'll tell you right now, the Jays are just unwatchable. Just completely. They won last night. God bless. They won last night. The bats woke up, but boy, what a dreadful, dreadful, dreadful team. I want out. I had to go to a game live on in a couple of weeks, and I'm just... Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to spend my time watching this team? Just truly dreadful. But the playoffs, NBA playoffs have been crazy. Go OKC. I'm rooting for OKC. Anyone but the Boston Celtics. Anyone but the Boston Celtics.
Coward.
Andrew says, "Go." That's not.
That's mean.
That's not a nice thing to say. It's pretty mean. It's not a nice thing to say. We all age, guys. We all age. We're all going to lose our hair someday. So let's not. We don't need to. We don't need to go there. Marcus Mustard, Bruno, no more wins. I mean, like I said, 4 straight losses. Let's look at Blindado's recent run a little bit. It's been tough, man. Brendan Allen, rear naked choke. Brendan Allen's great. Nothing to say about that. Shara Magomedov, that was kind of a weird fight. I think a pretty clear win for Shara, but I remember people were just kind of it wasn't what people expected from... Was this Shara's debut? This was Shara's UFC debut. It was...
Hey. Santos.
Willie Cat.
Yes, he is. $147.
147.
147.
$147 for Daniel Santos. That is a very, very, very bad look, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. That's a bad look. So Daniel Santos, like I said, his last fight. Now, okay, a few things. Daniel Santos had a lot of trouble getting back into the cage. His past 3 fights were either... He withdrew from all of them. So we don't know what's going on. His most recent fight with Johnny Munoz, June 2023, was a bantamweight bout. I believe there's also there was a scheduled catchweight bout previously that might have been on. I mean, again, it was scheduled, so it's fine. And I think the Julio Arce fight was a catchweight as well for some reason. Listen, there's been some weird weight stuff going on, and yes, and it was Julio Arce that came over, so that wasn't Daniel Santos at all. But he has historically been a bantamweight or within bantamweight range, and he's the smaller fighter in this. Like, you will notice, I think maybe he's a bit denser, but like height wise, he's considerably smaller than Zhang Yang Li. So for him to miss weight is a bit disappointing. Now, it is 1 pound. It is 1 pound over the non-title limit. As we said, this is in Montreal, so I believe he will be able to speak to a doctor, speak to the commission about weighing in again, see if he can shave off that 1 pound or not. Or perhaps this is as far as he can go, and maybe he is just done. But either way, on his first and possibly only attempt, Daniel Santos, 147, 1 pound over the limit. I am not impressed by your weigh-in performance, Daniel Santos. All right, Jose, I'm going to send a little update here. Now that we've had some drama, we have about 30 minutes left, guys. I'll do a full weigh-in rundown in a moment. See if we can see if we can shake out one of these remaining fighters from the tree. Just Bruno Silva and Zhang Yang Li we are waiting for. Wouldn't it be funny if Zhang Yang Li also missed weight? I think we had that happen recently where both fighters missed weight, and it was just like, shrug your shoulders. Where did I put that?
He knew it. He knew it from the beginning.
All right.
The minute he said that.
Sorry, guys. Let me see what you're all saying in the comments. Mikey says my mic keeps cutting out. It might be a mic keeps cutting out, guys, or it could just be I'm probably a Wi-Fi issue. If that's it, it's a Wi-Fi issue. Also, guys, sometimes I'm just not talking. Sorry, because we're juggling some other things here, and like I said, I've had noise in the building. So, but yes, if it is cutting out mid-sentence, probably a Wi-Fi issue. My apologies. My apologies for the technical difficulties.
I'm gonna back up. You stay just in case anybody falls off the scale.
Intangible. Good. All right. Yeah, mostly harmless, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you guys get up here. This is some hair. If you feel like Bill's saying you're gonna drop here on your bald head. Some hockey trash talk. All right, got some baseball trash. I like it, guys. I like it. Stir the pot. Stir the pot. Mucky T says, here in SoCal, we have a Brazilian steakhouse called Rio Picanha Super Fire. That sounds delicious. That sounds freaking delicious. I will, guys, if I'm ever in SoCal, you can find me at Rio Picanha. I will be there. Let me see the official UFC account. So, opt on UFC.com. If a fighter weighs in and they think he's going to weigh in again, they won't show his weight as final. I do see it on UFC.com. It says Daniel Santos weighed in above the featherweight limit, and I'm guessing they also tweeted out the weight, which is not a good sign for Mr. Daniel Santos if that's the case. Okay, I don't see it. They didn't tweet it out, so that's one thing, but it does say he missed weight on their website. And again, this is not official, guys. Does not mean he can't weigh in. I'm just telling you what I've seen previously. Sometimes this means that that is the recorded weight, and that's it. Did not look happy on the scale. Did not like he was having a good time up there, and he looked like cutting 1 more pound. He looked like the last thing he wanted to do was cut 1 more pound. Folks, if you're looking for any of the top 2 weigh-ins, that is Bilal Muhammad, Della Maddalena, and Valentina Shevchenko, Emmanuel Fiorot, you can find that on our socials, on Instagram, on Twitter. We'll have replays for you at some point. We also have Jose Aldo's weigh-in. As we said, a lot of controversy there. It looks like Jose had trouble making weight, and on Thursday night, him and his team negotiated to make this a featherweight bout with Zahabi. So that's on there. But yes, we've got Bilal, we've got Jack Della Maddalena, we've got Valentina Shevchenko, we've got Manuel Fiorot, Ian Machado Gary, the backup, Alexa Grasso, and Natalia Silva. So all the big fights, guys, all the big fights. You can find the weigh-ins on Instagram and on Twitter. A little bird just told me that on the weigh-in show, the UFC weigh-in show, you guys don't need to be watching that. Daniel Santos will try to weigh in again. Daniel Santos will try to weigh in again, so that's good. We'll probably see the box of redemption. I'm going to call it redemption because I'm assuming Willie Cat will make weight. Now, when I hear Willie Cat, I think Willie Jack. I don't know, Jose. You ever watch the show Reservation Dogs?
No, but I know of its existence.
It is fantastic. It is so good. Yeah, it's only 3 seasons. It's 3 seasons. It tells a complete story from beginning to end. It's just no overextension. I think only 12. No, it's only 20. Yeah, no, 8 episodes. 28 episodes. 28 episodes. 3 seasons. It is so good, guys. I recommend. It's on. In the U.S., I don't know what you guys would have it on. Hulu. You guys have Hulu in the U.S., right?
Yes.
No, FX. I'm sorry. In the U.S., it's on FX. So
yeah, but it's on Hulu.
Maybe it's on Hulu now. Okay, yes, repeating on Hulu. So yeah, guys, watch Reservation Dogs. It's a great show. I'm a little biased. There's some Canadian content on there. Several of the actors are Indigenous Canadian actors, which I think is great. But yeah, really good show. Really funny. Very weird. Just some production assistance from Taika Waititi. You guys know him. He brings some of that. You could tell he kind of helped get the show off the ground. Gives it a bit of a vibe. But if you're kind of annoyed by
I'm not a fan.
I was gonna say I was actually just going to say if you're annoyed by that Taika Waititi sort of like constantly quirky weirdo humor, that is not in the show. That is not what is in the show. There's a bit of a vibe early on, but you can tell he kind of just like helps get it off the ground. And like the guy Sterling Harjo, the actual creator of the show, I think does a fantastic job. Yeah, and it's really funny. The actors are great, and there's a character named Willie Jack who is like the greatest character on television, I think. So we will.
Of time.
No, I would just say like recently. I don't watch enough TV to even make that claim. I watch so little TV. I'm the last person you want to go to for like, top 10 greatest shows ever. Like I've maybe finished 20 shows in my lifetime, like beginning to end. So I'm the worst person to ask. But yeah, I'm just saying if you guys have got nothing to do and you haven't watched Reservation Dogs, again, the series ended I think last year or a couple of years ago. It's
over
and done. Yeah, there's no like, oh my gosh, I got to catch up. No, just watch it whenever you want. Watch it whenever you want, guys. It's there for you to watch. It tells a whole story, and hopefully we see more of these actors and creators get more work. It's the first I think major network show to ever be all indigenous, all Native American cast and crew and production, and it's fantastic. Okay, let's do a rundown, guys. Let's try and summon. Let's put our collective powers together, guys. Give me your umbrella emojis. Give me your rain emojis in the chat. Let us summon. I'm going to be specific. We are summoning Bruno Blindado Silva. Bruno, we want you to come in. We want you to weigh in. We want you to make weight. 185, championship weight. Not even 186. I want Bruno Silva to make championship weight. Let us do the rundown of the weigh-ins. What do I have in here? Okay. Your main event is official. Bilal Muhammad defends his welterweight title against Jack Della Maddalena. Both fighters, 170. The co-main event, flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko, a pound under. 124, and her opponent, the number 1 contender, undefeated in the UFC, Manon Fiorot, 125. The great Jose Aldo coming in at 143. His opponent, Zahabi, 142. This was originally scheduled to be a bantamweight bout. Jose Aldo, some difficulties making weight, was told last night by the commission to stop cutting at some point when he was still about 9 or 10 pounds over. New contracts were drawn up. Some money has gone Zahabi's way, and an agreement was made to make this a featherweight. So this is not a weight miss on Jose Aldo's part, technically, but some changes have to be made, guys. Some changes have to be made to keep this fight on the card. Jose Aldo did not look super happy on the scale, but he never does. Also on the main card, a big flyweight bout between Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva, both at 126. Alexa Grasso trying to hold on to her spot in line. She's top 3 flyweight in the world. Natalia Silva, presumably with a win, becomes the number 1 contender And I want to say would fight Valentina or Manon next, but again, you have the talk of, Valentina wins, will Zhang Weili come up? Either way, if Natalia Silva wins, I don't think she should have to fight again. I think she should get a title shot and just chill there as long as she can, um, if she can afford to. And opening the main card, lightweights Benoit Saint-Denis and Kyle Prepolek. Kyle Prepolek making his return. Both fighters 156. Prepolek coming in on less than a week's notice for an injured Joel Alvarez and a huge underdog against Benoit Saint-Denis. But BSD coming off 2 straight losses has a lot to prove. And this could be a trap game because Kyle Prepolek is incredibly durable, incredibly tough to finish. So if you're BSD, you are not overlooking this guy at all. You are really hoping to go in there, put him away in the first round, and just make a statement, and then set yourself up for either another big fight or maybe we get a Joel Alvarez rebooking because I still want to see that matchup. And I know a lot of fans do as well. Closing out the prelims, we have welterweights Mike Malott and Charles Radke. Mike Malott, 171. The charming Charles Radke, 171. He has decided to make Canada his nemesis. And while I think he's a damn fool, honestly, it's not a bad gimmick for selling a fight. This will be one of the most talked about fights of the card. And if his goal is to sell the fight, Charles Radke doing a great job. If his goal is to be an idiot, knocking it right out of the park. Modestas Bukauskas, 203 for his fight with Yuan Kuchalaba, 205. Jessica Andrade, the former strawweight champion in a flyweight bout, 126, with Canada's Jasmine Jasudavicius, 124. Yes, under championship weight, as Joseph Boza asked earlier. Is there a possibility she could step in for Shevchenko or Fiorot if something were to happen to that to one of those competitors? Yeah, but otherwise, Jasmine on a win streak and chasing the biggest name of her career. If she can knock off a former UFC champion, even though it's champion at 115, Jessica Andrade has also been a title challenger at 125. This is a huge, huge, huge win for Jasmine. So big stakes in this fight. Navajo Sterling, very highly touted prospect out of Australia at 205, fighting Ivan Arslan at 205. Navajo's first fight, didn't first UFC fight, didn't like blow the doors off, but he got the win. He's very young, he's very inexperienced, and I don't think anyone should be expecting him to be a finished product at all. So good for him for getting on these cards, for getting this kind of experience. I think Ivan Arslan is a tough test, and if Navajo can get another convincing win, whether it's by decision or get himself a finish, we might have some here at 205. But let's take our time with Navajo. Marc-André Barriault, 185, and we're waiting for the man who will.
Navajo is one of those guys that because I was at his Contender Series fight, he won, and then he had his UFC debut booked before he even got to the post-fight press conference. He won Contender Series, and then immediately they booked him in the fight.
I'll say this: he looks great getting off the bus. He looks great getting off the bus. The dude is diesel, and you like to see that on your screen, I guess, when you're selling a fighter. So yeah, he certainly looks the part of a top shelf light heavyweight prospect. Marc-André Barriault, 185. Excuse me. Marc-André Barriault, 185. We are waiting for Bruno Silva. He will come out soon. He will come out as soon as I finish reading this. Blendado will come out and step to the scale. 2 men badly in need of a win. Barriault, 3 losses, I think, all by finish. Bruno Silva, 4 straight losses. I said I was going to dive into his resume earlier. I should. Just some weird stuff that happened there. There's the Chris Weidman eye poke in there. We saw Daniel Santos step to the scale. Our first official miss of the day. 147, very troubling. He's the shorter man in this fight. He's competed at 135 previously in the UFC. Hopefully everything is okay with him health-wise. Not sure why he had such difficulty making 145 or 146 in this case. We learned on the UFC weigh-in show. He is expected to try and weigh in again. I think he will make it. So let's hope we see Daniel Santos at 146 within the next little while. And we're waiting for his opponent, Zhang Yong Li, who I'm a little concerned about because as I mentioned, he's a tall featherweight, man. He's 5'10", I think. So I'm a little concerned. And then the weight is the weight, W-A-I-T, I mean, is concerning me because we got about 20 minutes left and no sign of Lee. And we had our preliminary opener official, Brad Katona and Beksat Almakan, 136. I'm very curious about this fight because I will say again, I put a little wager on this fight to go to a decision because Brad Katona always goes to a decision. He's had 18 pro fights, 14 have gone to the cards. The man just goes to a decision, bless his heart. And Beksat is a complete wild card. surprised a lot of people with how good he looked against Umar. Didn't surprise me because I had seen Beksad fight a little bit on the international scene. I knew how dangerous he was. Didn't expect him to win that fight and didn't expect him to hurt Umar the way he did, but didn't surprise me. It was competitive. He's a very, very good fighter. And is he ready to just run through a veteran like Brad Katona? I don't think so. I think this goes to a decision. Like I'm still picking. I think I'll pick Beksad to win, but I don't think he finishes Brad Katona. And then we have Ian Machado Gary, guys. Ian Machado Gary weighed in 168. He's the backup for the main event. Hopefully, will not be needed, and hopefully, he gets to just enjoy a paycheck for being the backup and a nice night at the fights with his family. Well, it didn't work, guys. It didn't work. You may have noticed we finished the rain dance, and neither Blindado nor Jung Young Lee have shown up. So I apologize. I feel like I didn't do it right. It's not your fault. It's not your
You
fault.
blew it.
You guys, I blew it. I see a lot of people put the umbrella emojis in there, Lorraine emojis. I think I'll take the blame for that. I'll take the blame for that. Let me go back some of the comments here. Oh no! Oh, fire alarm in my building, guys. All right, I'm gonna mute for a moment. I'm gonna mute. Jose, take it away.
That was very funny. I don't know. That threw me for a loop. AK is living in apparently Chernobyl, where yeah, I can still see him on my screen. He looks very agitated. You know, I couldn't have wished this to happen to a nicer guy. Still no word. Actually, should probably put that graphic that AK sent over. I was busy doing MMAfighting.com things. Someday AK will catch up because he can't respond to me, so I can say whatever I want right now.
I'm in the chat. All right, I'm in the chat.
Sir, please go away. That's so funny. There you have it, folks. There's your updated weights.
All right. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. I wanted to go back and
Are
read
you
some of these
done?
comments. Beboss saying, for now, we're gonna get an up. You're gonna hear another beep, and they're gonna tell us someone accidentally, whatever, left a pan on upstairs or
That's
something, and it's like a little
hilarious.
smoke. All the time, man. All the time. Or we have construction going in the building, and yes, in case he just accidentally activates the fire alarms. So fantastic. BVA11, I miss Reservation Dogs. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just discovered it. I feel so. I always wanted to watch it, so I'm glad I finally got to just binge it. Mikey T, Jose, I can't call you Jose. Jose, are you a fan of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse series? Of course, right?
Dude, the first
Okay.
movie,
I would
I've
hope
seen
so.
both. I've seen both of them. The first movie I went to go see, I
Yeah.
was like emotional seeing it.
Oh my god,
They
that first movie was. They're both great.
But
They're both, but the first
not
one
in
is
the
awesome.
sense of like I was sad over
Mhm.
like the story was good or whatever, but like I was like, this is literally everything I wanted as a kid in a comic book movie. I also love
Yeah, it's when you.
Spider-Man and I love Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's when you see something beautiful and you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Like the
100%.
first time we met. The first time we met.
Do you remember the first time we met? That's right.
Was it at? Wait, yes, but we weren't working together.
We were not.
You were fan sided.
Yes, Fanside Sports Illustrated, correct.
Yeah. It was in Toronto.
Nope.
No, what?
Nope. I promise you it wasn't.
Yes.
Nope.
How can it not be?
Because there was
Was it
another
in
event.
in Detroit?
It was in Detroit.
Oh, the one time I was allowed to cross the border. Oh yeah.
Yeah. At the Little Caesars Arena.
Yes, the Little Caesars Arena. The recently, I mean, at the time was sort of new. You weren't at. Oh my gosh, I got to mute for a second here, guys. Here comes the update.
Oh, AKs. The alarms are. You got to get under the desk when you hear those alarms, AK. Sputnik is coming. That's very funny. We are still waiting for. I'm going to read off AKs. We are, for anyone that has, for whatever reason, joined in this late in the game, we are still waiting for Bruno Silva and Zhang Yong Lee. I apologize if I mispronounced that wrong. AK's probably being like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah. You said it wrong." But the main event is good. The co-main event is good. Again, if you're joining now for whatever reason, Jose Aldo is competing at featherweight. What were you saying, AK?
I'm back. It was sure enough a false alarm. Our condo is not burning down. Don't worry about that. I'm just gonna talk over it. I'm gonna talk over it.
Holy
No,
cow.
I'm not gonna. Nope. Hold on.
That's very funny. Poor AK. This is what happens when you live in Canada.
What was I saying, Jose?
You're talking about I wasn't at Toronto, the Toronto event,
Oh
whichever
yeah,
one you're
wait, no,
talking
you
about.
weren't at UFC 206 Holloway Pettis?
No, I was not because I think Mike Heck was there. Not Mike Heck. Mike Dice was there. Mike
Yes,
Allardyce.
Mike Allardyce was there. Correct.
So that was
That's right.
back when
Someone from Stan said it was there.
we
That's
were
right. It
only
was
getting
okay.
at that moment we were only getting one
He was
credential
there.
per.
Sure.
So and then after we put in the work, we would get two. But so Allardyce would do a lot of the shows just because he was the boss. And then when he shifted over to another organization, I took over.
Intangible 79 asking AK, have you watched Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire? You know, I love Breaking Bad, love The Wire's. I mean, come on, The Wire's unbelievable. Sopranos, I've never watched the whole thing. I don't know why. I feel like I should. I've never watched the whole. I'm sure
I've never
someday.
seen any of those.
I'm not gonna go on. This is the part, Jose, where I'm supposed to go like, you've never watched The Wire? You've never.
No.
I hate when people do that. I hate when people. You know what? If you want to watch it, you'll watch it in your own time.
I literally have
I
never
don't care.
seen
I can
those
never
movies.
tell. I can never get on people about like
Shows.
not watching a show unless someone said like oh, looking for a show like I love Bryan Cranston, I'd love to watch a show where he does like a dramatic role and like you've never seen Breaking Bad, then I would go like, oh, you should probably watch Breaking Bad. But I hate when people go like, oh, you've never watched the show, I'm like, no, yes, I've watched other shows and
Right.
you know, I'll watch on my own time. But yeah, I'll watch Sopranos. I'm sure. I've obviously one of the most critically acclaimed shows ever. I'll definitely check it out. But The Wire, Breaking Bad, I mean, fantastic.
Ooh.
Intangible also wants to know, would Siddiqui Dumas be let into Canada for his next fight? God, I hope not. I'll say that. We don't want him here.
Yeah.
You guys keep your
I'm
Siddiqui
glad you
Dumas. I'll
brought
say
that
that.
up. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Because
Go ahead.
here's the thing, guys. When I interview a person, we're not all of a sudden best friends, okay? I interviewed him, and then as you saw what happened, and all of a sudden I'm getting blown up. They're like, "Oh, your boy." I'm just like, "What are you talking
Jose.
about?"
Oh no, Jose. That
was very
boy.
annoying.
I bet
That
you got
was
a lot
super.
of you got a lot of mug shots sent your way. A lot of mug shots
Oh
sent your
yeah.
way.
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like that's how I found out it happened.
Yeah, not a great guy. That's I don't think we'll see him in Canada anytime soon. What else we got here? Oh, sorry. Bivaz says Navajo, New Zealand, isn't he? I think you're right. I'm sorry. That is like the biggest, like the most bush league mistake you can make.
You blew
Yes,
it.
he is from New Zealand, not Australia, not remotely the same thing, guys. They get mixed up all the time, obviously, and what a slap in the face to both countries. So, yes, New Zealand's Navajo Sterling, not Australia's Navajo Sterling. My apologies.
Get it together.
All right, I think I'm almost. There's so many great comments. I feel bad that I couldn't address them all. AK Lee better not cross the Darren better not cross the border into Detroit right now. ICE will throw him into a detention center and we'll never see him again. You know, we're laughing, but I genuinely might not visit the United States for the next little while. I may not want to risk a border. That's crazy. And how am I gonna? I want to go to New York. I want to hang out with Jose. I want to go see Casey in California. I mean, he doesn't want me there, but I want to see. You know, I'd love to surprise Casey and just show up at his front door. That's definitely. And then he's gonna call the authorities on me, so that's not gonna go well for me. People are asking if I speak French? I do not speak French, guys. Intangible points out everyone learns French in Canada, so like most of us can speak like understand some, speak a little, and like for me, I like think I have like okay pronunciation when it comes to French words, but I cannot speak French. Here we go, Jung Young Lee. Way to go, Chung Young Lee. 146. I apologize for doubting him, guys. I was talking a lot of crap, saying he's a big guy. It's gonna be tough to make 146, and he did it. And he just got to wait for Daniel Santos now, who will use that box of redemption, and he will show up. I'm getting a little worried for Blindado. I'm just gonna message Guillermo Cruz right now and just ask him where's Blindado Silva. Maybe he has an answer because we are now in the final 10 minutes.
I ordered a hat.
We are now. This is where you start to worry. This is where you start to worry not just about fighters missing weight, of course, but like, are they even going to show up? As I
Correct.
said, Bruno has faced a lot of issues outside the cage. He's spoken very publicly about them. So we don't know. We don't know how that affects his preparation, affects his weight cut, affects his health. Looks like they're doing something here.
Get in the box.
Okay.
Weighing for a second time in the featherweight division, Daniel Santos.
Santos. There you go. He is on weight.
146, box of redemption. I never doubted it. I never doubted it. Good for you, Daniel Santos. He's emotional. He's emotional, man.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Good for you, Daniel. Hopefully, again, a healthy rehydration. No issues between now and fight night. Because I'm kind of looking forward to him and Jung Young Lee. I think it's an interesting fight. Someone asked. Sorry, I want to give credit to who asked the question, but what is our Jake C? What's both of your guys' least favorite fight on the card from an entertainment standpoint? Ooh. Oh boy. So I've talked about it a lot. Again, Marc-Andre Becchio and Bruno Silva could turn into an absolute stinker. There's actually a lot of fights in here that could go
I mean,
the
the whole
distance in
main
a
card.
not interesting way. But I think those. So I think those fights benefit from, the drama of a championship fight, Jose Aldo being involved in there. I think Belmont Sunday should finish Kyle Prepolek, but like I've said, I think Kyle will survive at least 1.5 rounds if that's if people are out there willing to wager on that. But no, there's some potential for some uneventful decisions here. Again, I still don't know what we have with Navajo Sterling. Brad Katona, again, a guy I like very much, but his fights are, your average fan will tell you they're not memorable. Fair or not, they're not memorable. They go the distance and they're competitive, and you don't really end up talking about those fights usually a few days later. And you know what? Here we go.
The box is already on standby.
Good. $187. They're going to try with the box of redemption.
187. The official weight for Bruno Silva, that's 1 pound over the middleweight.
Oh boy, 187 for Bruno Silva, 1 pound over the limit. It was not La Boîte de Rédemption. It was La Boîte de Honte. That's my terrible. I said I was like a Spanish accent. I'm so sorry. I apologize to both the Spanish and French communities for that. Whatever the hell that was. That was horrible. But yes, it's like it is a box of shame for now.
He's trying it again.
Wait. One more time. Oh, Bruno.
187 the official weight for Bruno Silva.
I made a quick post. Sorry.
A lot of people want to see him shave the head, shave the beard, shave the eyebrows. I don't know. I can't imagine. I imagine it looks like they're talking about will he get additional time to weigh? Give him 3 minutes. I heard.
Who's got 3 minutes?
He does technically. I don't, but I was assuming he could get an additional hour if cleared by the commission.
I think that was
but
only
I'm
for
just that's
title
my
fights.
guess. Oh yes. You mentioned that at the beginning. Yes, that's right. Only the champions. So, I mean, hopefully the fight just goes through anyway.
Yeah.
With respect to Marc-Andre Barriot, take that 20%, and hopefully we still get a fight because that's tough. That's a tough fight. It's tough luck for Bruno, who again really apparently just had to almost like beg the matchmakers for a chance to get one more UFC fight after losing 4 straight, and then not making weight. And gosh, I hope everything's okay. I really hope everything's okay. Peter Woodbury, WTF? What the hell's he gonna do in 3 minutes? I don't know.
He's got to pee.
Yeah, maybe. Intangible 79, he might get another hour. No, Jose said apparently they're only offering that extra hour to the champions, who both made weight long time ago. Daniel Santos did weigh in again, but it was within the guys. It was within the 2-hour weigh-in window, so he did not need to extend beyond this time. Yeah, not a great showing, guys. Not a great. Disappointed. I'm not going to throw up the final weigh-in graphic yet, but I suppose now would be a good time to let you know. We will have a preview show in about an hour, actually, at about 12 p.m. Eastern time. We will have a preview show. I will be back again, so if you're not tired of listening to me already, jump in, listen to me some more. There is ceremonial weigh-ins, of course. There's a pay-per-view, and the ceremonial weigh-ins will take place, I believe, at 5 p.m.
Is that it?
ET.
He's not going to try to weigh in again? He's not going to
Yes.
have time. He's got 60 seconds.
He's got 60. Yes, guys, we have a preview show at noon, so in about an hour. Got a little bit of a scramble for that, and then ceremonial
All right, that's a
weigh-ins
wrap.
at 5 p.m. That's a wrap. Oh boy. Okay, guys, so that's an official weight miss for Bruno Blindado Silva. You hate to see it.
Unless he weighs
we'll
in, and they said, I don't think so. He has about 45 seconds to weigh in. So after
Is he
that,
in the
like,
box right now?
No.
Is he in the box that's on camera right now? No? Okay.
Well, there's Sam the Warlock checking the scale, so
I'm going to count him down. I've got to look at my little clock here.
he's already removed the everything, so I think that's a wrap.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think so.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
You are? We are? Together? Sure. I'd like to go to a diner. Finals. A what? A diner. Okay. And have a look. Would you like to get some breakfast?
Maybe. I gotta finish some work, but I'll text you when I'm done.
All right. We'll figure it out, guys. Well. Stay tuned to our. Thank you everyone for joining us. Stay tuned for our socials for any updates on Bruno Silva, and we'll see you at the preview show in an hour. Thanks, Jose.
Are you still there, AK?
And I had one to go yesterday.